Oi, oi! You Ipswich boys! And you can tell everybody we're top of the league. What a win for the town! And of course, everyone's saying it. The Elton John album, Captain Fantastic, the Brown Dirt Cowboy, Captain Fantastic, Sam Morsey, the big question mark. Would he play? Would he get booked? Would he miss Norwich? Would he miss Leeds? He is there, Johnny on the spot to give us those 3 points. Unbelievable. I don't know where you're tuning in tonight. You could be here in Chelmsford with me. You could be in New Zealand where Chris McTaggart is. I think it's probably breakfast time there, is it, Chris? You might be on West Coast of the States where it's lunchtime. What a win for the town. I just can't believe it. Here's Chris. Good morning from Queenstown, New Zealand. Captain Fantastic. The Shire Shark 1962 is lost for words. So am I, quite frankly. I mean, I'm just trying to compute it. I certainly didn't see this result coming when that Watford went 1-up. Let me say that right now. And of course, as it stands, I think it's still the case. Sunderland are beating Leeds 1-0, but I think they kicked off at 8 o'clock. So there's a little bit more time to go at that. But yes, as I said at the top of the show, we are top. 50 points, broken. We're north of that. We're on 51. Leicester to play tomorrow, of course. And as it stands, I think with Leeds, they're 10 points behind us. I think they'll be on 41. But let's get some more of your comments. Chris, Boyd, one defensive error each, and we won the rest of the game 1-0. Yes, in fairness, ours have been coming all season. Thank God it didn't cost us. Super Sam, and bring on the scum. The shellacking. We're counting down to the shellacking. I can't wait. Rob Holmes, massive win that. Captain Marvel chasing the ball down and great finish. The irony, of course, was what a hoot. Wesley Hoots giving the ball away. Terrible touch. Sam's there. Did you think he was going to square it to Ladapo? Well, it didn't make no difference, did it? He scores the goal. Very similar limbs, no doubt. The cruncher will phone me later. Very similar limbs, no doubt, to when Richard Chaplow scored down that very end, you may recall, a fair few years ago. What else have we got here? Let me see. Lee, Matt, what a club. Always nice to win against 14 men. What was that ref on? Gave some curious decisions, but I mean, look, this is football, right? We see this all the time. Turbo ITFC Watford were decent, though magnificent win. Let me tell you, I messaged a couple of friends and said, if we get a draw here, fantastic. Because in the context of the game, I thought Watford looks a good team. I said, they were actually my dark horse at the start of the season. If you watched our pre-season show with Chris from West Brom, Cruncher, Martin and the crew, hadn't really looked at it, had they? But they looked a good team tonight. Ken Seamer, very good player on the left-hand side. Player I thought we could have been in the market to sign. Maybe we will do. Leeds still losing. Can someone tell me on the comments? I get so many comments here. I don't know. Who we got? Steve Thompson, the aficionado. Foot to the floor, Steve. Yeah, I'm good. Foot to the floor. I'm bringing in some Formula One sort of, puns.
Oh, absolutely.
To make you feel at home. So come on then, Steve. Ecstatic. What you were feeling the worst, no doubt, at 1-0. And suddenly we are 2-1 winners and top of the league.
Yeah, over the moon with that one, especially seeing as if it's still the case that Leeds is still 1-0 down, even better. Obviously, Leicester tomorrow, but it was. I was thinking it was going to be 1-1 to be fair, because it was two sides that were cancelling each other out. They seemed to have an answer for everything the other side was trying. So a lot of yellow cards, very very card happy, but
and Morsey wasn't one of them.
Out of all the people to not get a yellow card, it was Sammy Morsey. Brilliant.
Yeah. Look, the one guy was throwing himself around a little bit, wasn't he? Perhaps he was. Yeah. And it felt like to me, Morsey had quite a quiet game. Easy to say. I was thinking maybe did he have that yellow card in the back of his mind? He don't want to be missing Norwich or Leeds being pivotal. Well, all games are pivotal, right? But I mean, you've got the derby on the horizon, and then Leeds are right down the back of your neck, aren't they, in terms of league position? Yeah. But suddenly he just pops up and gets the goal. Was that his first goal of the season? Or was he scored?
No, second.
Second. Who else did he score?
That. Was it against Rotherham? That corner.
Oh, of course he did. How did I forget that? I'm all over the shop at the moment, Steve. I'm ecstatic. I'm all over the shop. Yes, of course. That was his. They said on Sky that was his 9th goal in 107 appearances. But he seems to just pop up with the goals.
He does what needs to be done. That was brilliant. I thought, to be fair, I think they all had a pretty solid game. The only one I was disappointed with really was Broadhead. To be honest, I know he came on as a sub, but
I know what you mean.
Again, a few misplaced touches and things.
Normally, when he's got the ball, he makes the decision, and he's Midas, isn't it? Everything he does turns to gold. But I don't know, both him and Wes seem to hold on to the ball a little bit too long. What about? I mean, look, again, I always say this, don't I, after huge wins, minor quibbles in the grand scheme of things. What about Williams? Do you think Williams was a tactical thing? He comes back into the side. We made 5 changes, didn't we? So we brought in Williams, Twanzebe, Luongo, Amari, and Harness. So I mean, that's a lot of changes from a 2-0 win, isn't it, at the weekend? But Williams only lasted 45 minutes, didn't he? And got given the old heave. Do you think that was because of that Ken Seamer? I mean, he looked to play, didn't he? This evening, he did.
Yeah. Williams, I did think, seemed to struggle. Did he pick up a yellow? I can't remember if he was one of the ones that picked up a yellow or not. I think he did. He seemed to struggle. I think Clark was better than Williams. You know, the sort of the second half. I think he did, apart from obviously getting a boot to the face. I think he did quite well.
God, that was proper MMA levels of like.
That was extreme. I'm surprised it was only a
hill kick. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't knock him out, quite frankly.
Oh, and I thought he did because he was lying on the floor. He looked like clean out of it. But
now they're getting they're getting wise to it now. Stay down.
Yeah.
Let's get a few. Let's just get a few more comments in, Stephen, and we'll come back to you. Lee Bayliss, Twanzebe, excellent. Mark Bloomfield, when Sam scored, I burst into tears with pride. What a captain! He's the total player. Love it. My God, Mark. I'm not even halfway through the season, my friend. What will you be like in the countdown as we hit the spring? But that's brilliant to read. Sammy scores on Sky, says Stephen Perry. Rob Smith, Scarlett at least holds the ball up. It just bounces off Ladapo. That was weird, wasn't it? When the keeper came out, didn't he? Had the ball at his feet outside the box. I thought he had acres and loads of time and sort of Freddie rushed him down.
I got vibes with Macaulay Bonne nicking the ball off the Wednesday keeper a couple of years back.
Behind you. Yeah. That annoys Martin. That's still up on the back of the North Stand when we've been promoted with like 100 goals. What did you make of George Hurst this evening? He put in a real good shift, didn't he?
He put in a shift. I think the two that impressed me the most, George Hurst, and I think Marcus Harness, to be fair, I think he was getting about a bit and he was doing all right.
Goes in, doesn't he? He had that little header, albeit not very strong header, but certainly he started that move and then could have finished it if he'd scored.
Yeah, I think Hurst did really well. He's got a good few goals this season. He's been sort of popping up and doing the layoffs for Chaplin and that sort of thing. It's nice to see him get another goal of his own. Yeah, I think it's well deserved. He was certainly putting in a good shift. He's quite a big lad. I don't often realise how much of a sort of big guy he is compared to some of the players around him. But he
gave someone a bit of a he was smash, didn't he? Wrestling style,
getting stuck in. So
some of that and his goal, of course. So Harness to Amari sort of cut in, didn't he? Had the shot. It came off that number 6, Lewis. Sort of sends Hamer the wrong way a little bit, but he still manages to get his hand to it. And then, of course, Hurst was there for the tap-in. Thing is, Steve, we don't score many tap-ins, do we? I'm thinking the one off Ladapo's face against Cardiff, and maybe the other tap-in that he arrived on. But generally, we're either scoring worldies or really good sort of team goals. Like Wes Burns' outside of the foot job. So it was nice just to get something inside the 6-yard box, right?
I was going to say, it is. I love seeing the worldies like Wes Burns, and I love seeing like when Chaplin absolutely smashes it. But it's nice just to get a sort of slightly fortuitous, just right place, right time tap in. It's nice that we can score simple goals like that rather than absolute worldies. It's the goals just come from all over the place. It's brilliant.
Did you all feel sorry for Hladky? I mean, look, people gave him man of the match probably against Middlesbrough. I probably lean towards Chaplin, but I could get the argument. I mean, he's been absolutely solid, hasn't he? One error against Leeds, and then bloody hell, he looks up and passes straight to that Spree. I mean, he must have wanted the ground to swallow him up. I felt really sorry for him. He actually makes a very good save from that Rahovic, I think it was, that then pushes the ball out to Spree, who then scores, of course. But I mean, I don't know what happened there. Poor Vaz.
The initial shot that he actually managed to save, I thought that was going to go straight in.
yes.
And then there was that momentary sort of, he saved it. Oh no, the second guy's got it. But I mean, to be fair, one error in God knows how many weeks now, and people were sort of getting on him a little bit. But I felt bad for him. But he made some cracking saves throughout the game. He was coming out catching. He was still decent with the ball at his feet. I always get a little bit nervous when the keeper's got the ball at his feet. I don't know if it's just the years of watching Bart and stuff in the past with keepers with balls at their feet, but. Yeah, it's better than it was.
What was interesting that some of the team went over to Hladky, didn't they? They sort of, like chin up kind of thing. Shows you what kind of character he is, and probably shows you why he's had such a good season. Like, he comes in, hasn't played a league game for, what was it, 18 months or something. Then he's put this run together. Probably goalkeeper of the season out of all 4 leagues at the moment. I would have thought. You know, shakes off the doubters, makes the error tonight, and yet can bounce back and put in a great performance. Just shows you, for someone who actually started the season as a reserve keeper, what kind of character he is, Steve.
Yeah, and it's great to see the sort of they are a team. They win and lose as a team. You know, one mistake, they're not going to get on his back about it. They don't just walk off and reset. They actually go to him and they, you know, pat on the shoulder, that sort of thing, chin up. It's nice to see that, and I think that's got to be a big part as to, you know, for the success they've had so far this season. That they're a unit, and you can see that they do. Even when there's all these changes, we've seen it in the past. You know, when Lambert was in charge, they'd have like a team of strangers, but they all look solid. You know,
you before. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And even though, you know, we have gone one down quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, we've sort of eradicated that first goal syndrome that we had for about 6 or 7 games, didn't we? But we have shown teams that we, you know, if we do go one down, there's no need to panic particularly. I mean, look, bloody hell, even at Portman Road, we've gone 2 down and still come back, haven't we?
I think that's a good thing as well.
Yeah,
like season's gone past. You go 1 goal, 2 goals down, that's it, game over. You got no hope of getting back into it. This time, there's a proper belief that you would actually get maybe at least a point out of it, and you will actually get something back. Yeah, so much better than it was.
And you need it in these big moments, don't you? Like you said, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, bloody hell, a point's going to be really good here. And then we've actually shown the fortitude to actually, you know, capitalise on their error, right? So, I mean, they make an error in outside their own box. And Moulsey was there. Yeah, just tremendous. Were you up on your seat thinking Chaplin was going to score that volley? It was almost like Middlesbrough all over again, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I was. Yeah, it was. I was trying to resist the urge to shout because neighbours. But, yeah, you do get a little bit carried away sometimes. I was up and around the room when Moulsey scored, that's for sure. But, yeah, that was amazing.
The Sky coverage on the Red Button was good tonight. They had like a co-commentator as well. Courtney, the women's player, Courtney. I can't remember her double-barreled surname. I mean, we've had some games, Bristol City being one, Steve, where the commentator sounded really bored.
Yeah. No, they were all right tonight. They sounded all right. The lead commentator, he was shouting, getting so enthusiastic. I thought he was having a bit of a heart issue.
He liked the sound, didn't he? If I'd said to you, you know, the day before we kicked off the season at Sunderland, that heading into Christmas we'd have 51 points already, you'd probably thought I'd been on the old sherry.
I think so. You started early. Yeah. Coming up from League One at this point of the season, second in the table. Well, no, top of the table. Top of the table for at least tonight. 51 points. I'd have bitten your hand off. It's incredible. No, I don't think anyone saw this coming. You know, I'd have been happy with just the top half, just to sort of cement ourselves in the Championship. But it's just far beyond what I could have dreamed. Really, it's brilliant.
It's unbelievable when you consider that we've still got half the season to go. And what's the magic figure normally? Around about 90. So you're looking at, you know, 39 points.
Yeah.
It's a mad one, isn't it?
It's incredible. Like I say, and we're going to start getting the teams coming around for the second time now, aren't we? I know we got Leicester like in really quick succession. Yeah,
it's a bit annoying there, isn't it?
Boxing Day and then January as well. It's
annoying for them, I would say, having to play us twice in quick succession. Has the Leeds game finished? The Leeds game has finished and they've lost. Fantastic.
Hey.
Nice. Leeds are falling apart again. Now, Colin knows, a Leeds fan who runs the market still up in Bury St Edmunds, and they watch Leeds home and away. So they're Suffolk based, but you know they've watched Leeds home and away for years and years and years. And he always said that he said to Colin, "If you get more than 10 points ahead of us, we won't be able to catch you." Well, bloody hell, they're on 41 and we're on 51 now. So there we are. I mean, Steve, have we ever had a better opportunity now to get promoted? Oh, look who it is! It's Neil Miles. I just entered the Formula One show. What's going on here? What about that Lewis
Hamilton? Wrong show. It's Monday.
McLaren?
I've been waiting in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Nice pun.
He was sitting in front of his PCs last night.
What a game that was.
Well, Neil, it is. Have we ever had a better opportunity to get promoted in the history of our club right now? 51 points, not even halfway through the season.
Well, we've been top before at Christmas, but
this is different gravy, though.
It is different. completely. Yeah, we look like a team that is actually really in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were just saying, Neil, I don't know if you heard that, but, you know, we're now 10 points ahead of Leeds, and Colin's got a friend who watches Leeds home and away and said, if you get to 10 points ahead of us, I don't think we'll be able to catch you for all the money they've spent on people like Perot and, you know, some of the Premier League players have still got. Just shows you what a great job, Neil, that McKenna is doing. Even got Soapus again, the poor guy, in the rain at Watford this evening.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Harness played well tonight. He looked really good, and
You pleased he came in for the Broadhead?
I was surprised, but Broadhead's one of those where he can be fantastic on his day, but he doesn't always show up. And even though Harness is more of a steady player for me, he doesn't hit the same highs, but you generally know what you're getting from him.
Absolutely. Let's get a few more comments in, boys. Let's see what else we've got here. Owen Griffiths, up the Sunderland, get the F in. Yeah. Barry Batocchi, I think I've said that right. Patience pays off. Leeds Sleazy won't show up today. Oh, it must be someone who comes in and gives us a bit of a trolling. Lee Anderson, we were top after beating Wigan over Xmas. Oh, this was the Joe Royle era, of course. And
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
God damn it, we've deserved to go up that season. It's got about 100 goals then, didn't we? And got about almost 100 points. I think we finished third on about 89 points or something daft. Crazy. We deserve to go out that season. Richard Chandler. I don't know if you were there tonight, Rich. Hope you're okay. Sam Morsey showed why you never drop him. Him and George were outstanding tonight. Neil, you're a George Hurst fan. Impressed with his performance?
I loved him getting a goal because that's the only thing that he doesn't do enough of. So just seeing him get one, it's great.
And me and Steve were saying earlier, and a tap in as well, because normally we have to work our nuts off to score these goals, don't we? Through balls, one's on one with the keeper. It was nice to see Ben Hamer just sort of say, there you go, George, tap this one in, and away we go. We'll give you one back.
That's fantastic. Like you say, outside the foot, curlers to the top corner, or, get a tap in off a deflection.
Yeah.
One extreme to the other.
Were you both pleased to see Luongo return tonight? I mean, I think he had a very good game, arguably. I don't really want to say, I can't really single anyone out tonight. Again, I felt like
he looked steady and experienced for me. He done what was needed.
So I almost get the impression that he was sort of designated more of the heavy work, the heavy load, that sort of thing, because obviously Morsey's situation with the cards. I get the feeling that Luongo was getting a bit more stuck in than he normally does. Unless I just completely miss it normally, but he was certainly chucking himself in there. Really impressed with him. I think that's what we come to expect from him, really. I know he was quite an underwhelming signing, January last year, but he's just been phenomenal.
Bloody hell, was he? Did we all get that wrong or what? We're sorry, man. I mean, I can't remember what Martin used to have a little pun though. It was like, has anyone seen Massimo Luongo? Is he ever going to feature? Is he ever featured for Borough? Didn't seem to be featuring for us, and then suddenly, Jesus Christ, what a guy!
Did he ever feature in a cup game as well? And none of us really thought much. And then from when he finally made it into the team, we went on that fantastic run. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, just fantastic. Neil, what did you think of Hladky tonight? Were you pleased to see him recover from the error, a rare error from him, but he showed kind of the fortitude to come back?
It was really surprising for me.
Because he looks up on the pass, right?
You think every other pass that he done under pressure in that game, and then it's unusual to have him do that, and the fact that you could quite easily see from the angle he was, he's not our man. He's wearing a bright yellow shirt.
Yeah, I just wonder who was he passing to Burgess? Did he see Leaf out there on the touchline? It was weird, wasn't it? He just went straight to a sprint
because it almost went the angle that you would have Leaf, but it was short that it was for it was it caught in two minds and gave it away.
Weird one. Very weird, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean,
my
jaw just dropped. Andy Barrell says, what this team has achieved is bloody incredible and could not have been predicted or expected. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here we go. The Gov's put it in the chat here. Missimo. Martin, mouth out. Yeah, I mean, just fantastic. You two are fans of Taylor, though, right? I mean, that's if Luongo's not playing and Taylor comes in. I mean, bloody hell, look at the goals that Taylor has scored for us. I mean, he's got two worldies already, hasn't he? He's not even a first team player, really. He's third in line, isn't he, behind Luongo and Moores.
Yeah, he's a good option to have, and I think he's more one for the future. Whereas
Yeah,
defensively, he's not quite so much there. Like you say, he's scored good goals, and he's one to pick out a pass.
Yeah.
It's another sort of example of look at the strength of the bench as well. You know, when you can bring on people like Jack Taylor, you know, like Nathan Broadhead when he's sort of firing as he should. Yeah. I do like Jack Taylor, and he can score some absolute crackers. But yeah, like you say, he needs to sort of work on it defensively. I can't see him chucking himself into tackles a bit like Morsey or Lawongo can.
No. But who knows? Young player, career ahead of him. It's weird that Ladapo started getting minutes from the bench. It'd sort of been the forgotten man, hadn't he? Because you started seeing Scarlett was getting a nod above him.
Yeah.
Then Caden Jackson was. I mean, is this just McKenna, do you think, just trying to recycle the subs round a little bit, keep everyone fresh, keep everyone happy with some minutes? And now it's Ladapo's turn. And, you know, will we see him feature against Norwich? I mean, it's an intriguing one. You can't predict it, can you? If you're David Wagner, you don't know what subs we're going to bring on.
No, like you say, of late, Scarlett's been the man that's had the nod, and has it really worked? I'm not convinced.
Don't know. I mean, my good friend of the show, Mike Woods, went and watched Orient Derby at the weekend, and he said, "Oh, John Jules has just come on for Derby. Is John Jules any better than? Well, is Scarlett any better than John Jules? I think probably the jury's out at the moment, isn't it? Certainly, you know, in some of the performances we've seen from him. But again, he's only getting cameos. He's not starting games, is he?
John Jules had moments, didn't he? He scored that. Did he only score that one goal, or did he get more than one?
Against Cambridge, I think. Scored against Cambridge, I think.
Because he done that really good run, didn't he? Where he just took them all on and then scored.
Yeah. I just find it odd that just how we see different now Scarlett and Jackson ain't getting a look in, and the Dapo's there. I'm getting breaking news. I'm getting word that the fisherman is in the house. Martin, can we bring him in? Is he here still? He's in the house. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Ecstatic. What did you make of that, then, my friend? 2-1. Tell us your thoughts.
Obviously, you know, as the game was going, I was like, look, I'll take 1-1. I'll take 1-1 all day long.
I would take 1-1.
Yes. But, you know, do you know what? It kind of reminded me a little bit of the West Brom game with the way they you know, Watford played and the way they were like battling. They were strong. They were physical. I thought they were a good side, to be fair.
Very good. Ken Seymour, very good.
And, you know, with a 1-1 away result, I'd have taken that all day long. And then obviously their mistake at the back, Morsey cracks onto it and places it in the bottom left corner. Can't argue more than that, can you really? I ain't going to lie. I think I woke the kids up when it went in. But
I think I've woken our neighbours up as well.
But yeah, I mean, how good is this season turning out?
I was about to say to you, can this season get any better? Yes, it can. Because Norwich, the fodder, are turning up on Saturday. What must their fans be thinking right now, Mike?
I will be fuming. I said I've been on about this on Twitter today or X, whatever it's called. I will be raging if we don't beat them on Saturday. I swear I'll be raging. But look, forget about that. I ain't worried about that right now. Let's talk about the game. Look, I've given Hladky some stick, especially after the Leeds game, you know, but I can forgive tonight's mistake. They played a replay of that 2 or 3 times, and I think what happened was, look, he's gone to pass it out to Burgess, isn't he? And he's just hit it wrong, and it's just gone to their player.
Yeah, weird.
He pulled off a good save, and he was just unlucky that somebody else was there to bang it in the back of the net. Look, 1-0 down, our heads never drop. We always, you know, I mean, I think sort of possession stats were like a 50-50 at that point, and both teams are sort of going for it still. But I always felt there was gaps in the Watford back line. There was a lot of gaps especially between the centre backs and Livermore, the holding mid. There was a nice big gap there, and Chaplin found himself in a couple of
acres.
Look, I think left to right, that keeper, that's in the back of the net. Unlucky not to score. And then Hurst, you know, lovely ball across, lovely ball across field. And then Hutchinson takes a shot, deflects, and Hurst is there, Johnny on the spot. And I think it's very important that Hurst continues to get goals. It doesn't mean to say, he's got to get all our goals. It's just nice for him to get goals.
Chipping in.
2 and 3 now, isn't it, for him, I think?
Yeah.
And
what do you think of his disallowed goal?
Sorry?
Yeah, they were moaning about the disallowed goal, Mike, from
I think there was a bit of holding. Looking at the replay, I think he was like had his sort of arm on the shoulder, sort of dragging him. Look, at the end of the day, I wasn't that impressed with the ref. I thought he was very card happy. There was time. I mean, why didn't he book that? I mean, he booked Hutchinson for displaying the yellow card. That bloke, their player, kicked that ball right the way down to the corner flag from the halfway line. If that had been our player, it'd have been booked. It's not one more. I know. Okay, it's not time wait. He still kicked the ball away, isn't he? Under the rules of the game, he should be booked for that.
He booked that Watford player 18 seconds into the second half.
Well, I know, but I mean, I think he's produced something like 50 yellow cards this.
Oh right, so it's in the stats.
Games.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the yellow cards are a little bit ridiculous. Some of the Morseys at the weekend are. Yeah. I mean, even tonight, some of the yellow cards. I mean, just look, let the game flow. I mean, if it's a real cynical challenge like. I think it was Luongo, wasn't it? He pulled him back, or Chaplin. Sorry, Chaplin was the one.
Chaplin did, yeah. Chaplin did. Yeah.
That was a yellow card. I get that, but then you got to look at the other ones. I just think just keep a card in your pocket. Other than that, he let the game flow, which was quite nice. But I would argue there was no need for some of them yellow cards.
Yeah. Mike, were you pleased to see Amari get another go tonight? I mean, look, he's had a pivotal moment in the game, hasn't he? In terms of making the first one, but surprising maybe to see Burns on the bench.
Was I surprised? Look, I think. Burns not long injured, is he?
No, true.
He went a few games without playing, and
he did for the international break.
Look, Hutchinson can do a job. I mean, he moved over to the left-hand side, didn't he, and caused a few issues. Burns, you know what you get from Burns. You'll get 100%, 110% effort. Okay, sometimes the final ball can be a little bit, but he's a player that you would I really rate that boy. I think he's a great player. He's not necessarily skillful. His just work rate is just so good. Another Leaf, like Leaf Davis. Yeah, really, really good on the ball, and just wants to work all the time. Brandon Williams, I think I might be wrong here, but I know he got subbed. But I think he could have been carrying a bit of an injury because he looked like he was limping. He was come off.
Maybe. It's unusual for McKenna, Steve, to make half-time subs, isn't it? So that was a bit of a surprising one.
I thought it was purely tactical because he did seem to struggle in the first half. Maybe he had picked something up. I didn't notice him limping, to be honest. So I thought it was purely tactical. He was struggling against that because he was incredible. But
we debated on the Sunday show whether or not could there be a deal to be made for Amari. I don't think you're going to see anything in January, of course. But what do you think, Neil? I mean, do you think he would have a future at Chelsea? I mean, they're a team in transition at the moment. He's been dubbed the new Raheem Sterling there. But does he see his future at Ipswich? Maybe, I don't know. But how much would we be prepared to pay for him? I suppose it's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's anywhere near Raheem Sterling at any point of his career, but he's a talent and he does a good job for us. He's slowly improving from how raw he was when he first came in.
Yeah, very, very raw. Yeah.
And to where he is now. He has certain games where he's more effective than others. This one being quite open, end to end. He gave him good chances. And I think he could have had more confidence in himself to take on his player. I know they doubled up a few times, but Burns seemed to have a lot more.
They trebled up, didn't they? If you look, it was three of them at one point, and that shows to me how good a player he is. Because if 2 or 3 players are trying to treble or double up on him,
yeah, absolutely. I seem to recall when he played in the Birmingham game when we clawed back. We was talking earlier. They took 2 goals down. We clawed that back to to 2-2. And I remember, I think it maybe Mickey Stockwell, someone was on the co-coms. And he said, look, Amari doesn't have to always try and beat his man. He always wants to sort of prove himself with his pace and get to the byline and get that ball into the box. He said sometimes you can feint the ball and get the ball in early. So maybe there was a learning from, as he's getting more game time, he himself is learning that you don't always have to try and beat the man. You can get the ball in early or wherever it might be. And he had that shot tonight, didn't he? I mean, he got by the ticket to win the lottery. He has the shot and Hamer palms it out, Mike, and Hurst tucks it away.
I think his free kick could have been better.
Going to go for the outside of the foot when he cut in.
yeah. Anything you can do.
I thought he cut in, didn't he? There was a point where he just cut inside, and I thought, is he going to go for it again? Oh, dear.
What are you thinking now? So we're days removed from the derby, our first derby game in God knows how long. We haven't beaten them since 2009? Was it the Gio dos Santos game at Portman Road before Keane came in? What are you thinking, Mike, in terms of team selection? Would you expect the likes of Wolfenden to come back in? Would you keep the rest of the side, Broadhead maybe to come back in? What's your thoughts?
Broadhead for me of late hasn't sort of
it's been quiet, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's been very quiet. I don't mean to say he's bad or he's playing bad.
Yeah, just not hit the heights he has previously, I would say.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, you're right. I think he's having a bit of a dip in form. Things are just not quite. The ball's not quite sticking to him. He's not. It's like I don't know. It seems like he's lost a little bit of pace somewhere along. Along the road. I don't know. Maybe he's a little bit confidence shy.
Injury hill there, maybe. Sometimes you just lose your momentum a bit, don't you?
Yeah. It's a strange one, really, because there's times when he's played, you just think, yeah, what a player, and then you just, like I said, just of lately, he just seems to be a bit, not quite there. But I'm sure I have no worries that McKenna will, get him back and get his head straight or whatever. We might be just overthinking it, but.
Yeah. What football fans?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'd play Wolfenden. I've been worried about him for a few games now.
You prefer Twanzebe?
Yeah.
Oh, Neil and Steve saying Neil and Steve both agree with you there. You'd go, boys. You'd go Twanzebe as well for Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's captain Man United for crying out. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is with Twanzebe, he's quite calm on the ball, and he's also his decision making is quicker than Wolfie.
Yeah.
Now, Wolfie's a very good championship defender. Let's get him past that. I'm not going to bag him because he's had some good games, but again, I think his form has dropped a little bit. I think it's this. He tends to sort of stand on the ball a bit too long and not make any decision. I think it was the last home game, last game we played. There was a sweeping ball out to the left to Leif Davis, and he just stood there. And I think Burns and Chaplin and Burns were both said, "Well, why didn't you?" Literally, arms. Why didn't you ping it out to there? And I think. With Wolfenden, I think he reminds me of Titus Bramble in a way, with his lackadaisical thinking,
Yeah. Looks a world beater sometimes, and in lackadaisical thinking the next. Yeah, I totally agree.
Whereas Twanzebe obviously comes from a good pedigree at Man United.
Comes from pedigree, yeah, absolutely.
Hang
on, Mike, I'm just going to read this comment out from Rob Holmes before it disappears. Rob Holmes, meltdown on ref of the Barclay. For people who don't know, that's one of their fan forums. And Pink and Sights, which is their newspaper tonight, after they watched us, they are bricking it. we love to see that. Yeah, I thought Twanzebe was a good signing. I mean, there was a question mark a little bit, Steve, because he'd been released, he'd had a bit of an injury record, he'd even gone over to Napoli. The one night in Napoli, Martin likes to call it, one appearance there. Did some games at Villa. We were told he was doing pre-season at Luton, didn't agree a deal there. But you're with Mike on the fact that you think he should play the derby on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it was a strange sort of signing. Obviously, we didn't see him for a while, did we? Because he was, obviously recovering. But he's been. I think he was brilliant tonight. I don't think maybe seen him before. He's been brilliant. Like you say, that pedigree, I think, is evident. Where he comes from. I like Wolfie. He's again a great a great player, but yeah, it's still going to be a tricky game on Saturday. And I think I would rather sort of put my faith into Tuanzebe, because he looked, like you say, he was so calm on the ball today. He seemed much better with the ball at his feet. The awareness seems to be better as well. You get those games from Wolfie where he's on it and he looks brilliant, but then like you say, you get those games where he just switches off. And I can't remember who said it. It might have been, was it Cook or Lambert that said he's so laid back. He's almost
it was
horizontal.
Horizontal. Yeah, they did say that, didn't they? A bit of a space cadet. Well, I said that in the tunnel on the Sky game against West Bromwich Albion. He looked like he was waiting for a bus. It wasn't sort of Roy Keane fire in your eyes. I know Bell would go one down after 5 minutes. Not that it's all his fault, of course, but I agree. I agree with Tuanzebe. I do think there's an argument there that if Morsey, say for argument's sake, was to go to the African nations of Egypt, Tuanzebe would probably fit in as well. You've captained Man United, you can captain Ipswich Town if he was going to get a run of games. I think, and if you've seen the interviews with him on YouTube and stuff, I mean, speaks really well. He's got like Ipswich Town captain material about him. Neil, what are you thinking for Saturday at 12:30? Are you going to bring Broadhead back in? Do you keep Hornets in the side? Looks like Harry Clark would probably play, doesn't it, on Saturday?
I'll keep
Williams is my choice out of the two if he's fit.
What do you like? What does he bring to the team that for you that Clark doesn't?
Even though Williams' positioning is not always amazing, his legs, his work rate, that last-ditch tackle, that bit of grit. Sometimes potentially you think in a derby game what his last ditch could be a
for
potential
Norwich player, of course.
Yeah.
Ended a bit sour, didn't it?
I spoke to a few and these guys didn't rate him at all. But it was a few years ago and they were in the Premiership, so slightly different scenario. Tuanzebe is my choice, obviously, at centre-back. Wolfenden, he's gone a little bit off for me. Where you say he's a bit slow thinking, sometimes to me it looks like things are going too well, and I don't know, it's almost like he believes his own hype, sort of that sort of feel where, whether it is or not, it looks a little bit that he doesn't have to put in quite so much as when you felt League One and we really needed to prove ourselves. We're back in the Championship. We're on a nice little run. Sometimes takes a goal behind, then suddenly like, oh, okay, we'll do what we need to. And then he sometimes goes back to where he should be. Without that, he's a good player. And if McKenna chooses to put him in, I've got no qualms with that. He's obviously done whatever he needs to show that he needs to be there.
Well,
that seems to be a thing with McKenna, is no matter who he plays, even if we're sitting there going, oh, okay, I don't know if I'll do that, it always turns out to be the right choice anyway.
Do you know, we're 18 points. We are 18 points clear of 6th. So Sunderland are in 6th with 33, West Brom with 35, Southampton in 4th with 38, Leeds in 3rd with 41, Leicester in 2nd with 49, and Ipswich are top as it stands, Mike, with 51. I can't remember, Mike, what your prediction was at the start of the season. Was you with us in terms of sort of saying mid-table consolidation, or were you sort of
11th, 12th, 13th? I always felt there was we had a good squad. It was whether we were coming up against when we were in League One. We're sitting there, I was quite whingy in League One because I'd hated the league. I didn't want to be in the league, and I hated every moment in there.
The reason being, Mike, you were missing, like me, you were missing nights like tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I think the reality is, right, at the start of the season, there's a lot of teams that have been in the Premier League that have come down, yo-yo clubs like Norwich and all them. They've all been yo-yo clubs, and West Brom and Watford, and and then you had Leeds and Southampton and Leicester come down. It was like, how the hell are we going to compete with them?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Now, yes, results breeds winners and winners breeds results. And that's where we are. We're 51 points, 10 points clear, sitting top at the moment. I know that Leicester have got a game in hand, but I'd rather win the game than have the game in hand.
Win it,
but
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think there's one fan that would have believed this is where we would be. Not one fan, If we made the playoffs at the end of the season, like I'd said at the start, that would have been a bonus. But to sit top, and playing like we are. The thing is, right, Moss Morsey, 32 will be 33 in September.
Yeah.
Right?
Something like that, yeah.
I believe he's still got probably 2 years with us.
Hope so.
If he stays fit, he looks fit. I mean, you think about it, and how much time does he have when he's out on that pitch? He works hard, and to get that goal for him tonight, I thought, yeah, well deserved. And I think, Luongo is another player that, it's just, look, we go up to the Premier League. Yes, we're going to need to strengthen, and there'll be players fall by the wayside. We know that, players that we all rate and all love and all that. But, to survive in the Premier League, you've got to have something extra.
Look at Burnley this season. Yeah, I mean, they walked it last year, didn't they? And look how they're struggling this year. Although I've got a friend who's a Burnley fan, Mike, and he said they've recruited really badly. So I'd like to think we could recruit better than them, but yeah, I mean, that's different gravy.
Well, that is the key. I mean, look at Man United. Their recruitment's been terrible, hasn't it? Look at Chelsea.
Both spent billions combined.
Billion pound squad, and they're sitting, 14th, 13th, 14th?
Yeah.
Look, I don't agree with Neil with regards Williams. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't start him against Norwich. I think the emotions is too high for him, and I think he could end up getting a red card. Whereas Clark is an Ipswich Town boy, and he's gonna work hard. And there is a potential of a red there as well, or maybe even a yellow. But I think really we just stick to the game plan, stick to playing how we are, and move them about like we do with all the teams. And who knows? We could absolutely give them a right pounding. Because I think we deserve to give some team a good pounding, and nothing would give me greater pleasure than to pound the bloody people up in north of the A140. Yeah,
they've had a decade of dominance, Mike. We could give them 45 minutes of dominance. I hope it's something like we can get up. Yeah,
it's like a dripping tap on your forehead. They're like that all the time. Just they've not won anything, but they're just poking you,
exactly.
I live in Norfolk. I work with a bunch of Norwich fans, and most of them are nervous now. It's the first time since I've known them, since I've been living here, that I can actually feel quite confident and quite smug about what's going on.
But we've drawn a lot of games with them, haven't we?
Yeah,
I know we haven't beaten them, but we have drawn again with shit teams as well.
Not very good. Not very good.
Bloody Chambers and all them boys,
Yeah, compare this team tonight to those ones, Mike.
I've been watching. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching some of the early games with Danny Haynes and stuff like that. And the own goal that the Brian Gunn air kick. I mean, that's just it's just priceless comedy,
Yeah, it is.
I know.
It is.
But look.
I think an amazing thing to do is compare the squad we've got now compared to the last derby in 2019 it would have been a relegation, wasn't it? Compare the squad we got now to what he had to work with back then. Bloody hell!
They put up
pedigree.
Before we finished, they put up a stat, didn't they, saying that Ipswich and Leicester, the 49, the 48 points was the most ever accrued at this point of the season in the history of the Championship, and now we're sitting on 51. We're actually top of that. We're top of the pile. I mean, it's just brilliant. Look, listen, gents, we've done almost 45 minutes. A great 45 minutes. We are counting down to Norwich. A great 3 points this evening. We'd have taken a point at 1-1. I agree with you, Mike. And we've got 3. Shows you how brilliant this team is. Me and Crunch are going to be back tomorrow, I think, as we look back on this evening and look ahead to the shellacking that is coming on Saturday. So everybody, wherever you're watching in the world, whether you be in the UK, wherever you may be, celebrate tonight's win. Even if it's morning in Australia and New Zealand, celebrate the win. And we're sitting top of the table, 51 points. Have a great evening, everybody. And we'll see you very soon. All the best.
Uptown.
crazy from just the thought of you.